at the Shenandoah Esports Arena here in Winchester, Virginia. Wednesday, September 24th, week 1 of the NECC regular season starts today. Shenandoah University, coming off a Division IV national championship win, looking to return the favor this time as they promote to Division III. Their opponent, standing across the aisle, the University of Georgia Bulldogs, looking to make an impact here. A massive week 1 matchup on our hands, and we could not be more excited to bring it to you. Hi everybody, I'm Chris Clayton, joined alongside Ben Kincaid, as we have, like I said, new beginnings, fresh, clean slates coming into today.
Yeah, both teams 0-0, right? This is week 1, of course, so kicking this one off with a good matchup. This is Division 3, like you said, a promotion from Division 4 that SU played in last semester, taking home that national championship as well in that division to grant them this promotion here into Division 3. So expecting good competition coming in to this new season at NECC, and what a team to start it off with Georgia Black.
Yeah, Shenandoah coming off one of the best seasons they have ever had in Rocket League, especially with a national championship to top it all off. But namely, I believe dropping one series throughout the entire year. We can take a quick look at our statistics from last year, and we will see exactly that. One series loss for this Hornet roster last year. Now, granted, an entire division down, but Shenandoah going on a tear through Division 4, undefeated in the postseason, and massive numbers favoring their side.
I mean, yeah, 13-1, 93% series win, 45 and 15 there on the games, the in-series games. Is a pretty good record to go out with in a full season of Rocket League. As we look at Georgia, they're 4-4, going with that nice 50 split there of wins and losses, but 15-16 there in the games won and lost. So pretty even with the group that they played in here with Division 3. So we'll have to see if Georgia Black improves this semester and finds themselves with a fully positive record and not just some 500 ball play. But we'll have to see what happens here, as this is week 1.
Yeah, big opportunity for SU to prove themselves in this division up as we take a look at the roster for tonight. It's going to look pretty familiar if you've been following the boys so far this season in their NACE run, but we've got the same old 3, Mango, Kiazi, and Pagani making their return even just from last night, coming off a strong showing against Albright, but a 3-0 loss at the hands of a very strong roster. We'll see if they're able to bounce back here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, against Albright, it did not look bad by any means. Albright is just an unbelievably good, talented team with Freeze, Flo, and Frost there on that roster for Albright. That was in NACE. This is NECC, so a different division, different league. I mean, that was NACE Varsity Premier, so that is the cream of the crop when it comes to Rocket League divisions on the NACE side. So we'll have to see if they can continue that momentum, that good ball play that they had from last night into today. And frankly, I think they can do it. And this is a good team to kind of test where they sit here in Division 3 right off the bat.
Yeah, take a look at the guys out in the arena, getting warm, getting loose. I do want to mention that 2 of our players just finished class about 15, 20 minutes ago. So they are taking all the time they have to warm up, get loose out there, and get ready for this series. I'm sure it should not affect them too much, but something worth pointing out that the pregame routine a little disrupted here tonight.
Yeah, not a lot of time to really warm up here tonight for a few of our players. But, hey, they nailed a presentation. Nailed it.
True.
Bang. Now it's time to nail some goals here tonight. So we'll have to see if that kind of lack of warm up does affect their game 1 play. But the funny thing about tonight is that this is a best of 7. So there's a lot of time to get warmed up in this series because it's a minimum of 4 games here played tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. You know, I'm thinking the worst effect I can imagine that class having on this team is maybe a slow start, but I can't imagine it affecting them for very long. I have no doubt that this team, with the experience that they have, the amount of years collectively that they all have been competing in Collegiate Rocket League now, I have to imagine that one missed warm-up scrim is not going to result in a catastrophic difference there.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that effective. Looking on the Georgia Blacks side of things as well, their team's looking like Koopa Troopa, Nuffins, and Mirrored and or Lunetta. We're not sure which one of those last two players will be piloting that third spot here for Georgia Black. But regardless, all of these players are around that 1,600 to 1,700 range, that nice mid-GC kind of level here for Georgia Black. So a very talented team. I'm not sure how long this team has been playing together necessarily, but I mean, scrimming before the season starts obviously is going to happen at any school that you go to and you're on an esports team, so I'm sure they have some kind of camaraderie built up already within that team to come out swinging here in week 1.
Yeah, this doing some digging through NECC's rosters, it does look like this is the premier roster from the University of Georgia, the UGA Black squad. So big moment here for them as well as they take on a reigning national champ from a lower division. Mm-hmm. But like you said, numbers today all around 1,600 from the side of Georgia, favoring Shenandoah actually coming up from the lower division. If you're looking strictly rank-wise, I would say the average rank of SU is actually higher. Mm-hmm. So that's something to keep an eye on, right? It could be a factor that this Bulldogs team has been, like you said, playing together for a while. Maybe they have that synergy that's built up that maybe doesn't translate to their solo queue games, right? Solo quew can anything can happen. Come on now, yeah.
You get paired with a bum and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do right now?
Right, yeah. It's hard to get caught up in solo queue numbers when comparing these teams, but something to keep an eye on as we get into game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these teams play up against each other. We know that SU, these three players have been playing together for quite a long time, so they have that synergy built up over pretty much all of last year and early on for Pagani and Mango as well, when Qualark was the captain of the team when they went here, who recently graduated. Congratulations on that. I know that was a little bit ago, but yeah, congratulations, Qualark, on a master's degree. Awesome. Yay. But yeah, so we'll have to see how Kiazi continues to fit into this pairing with Mango and Pagani. But we've seen a lot of times that it's Mango and Kiazi really setting up a lot of these plays and playing very, very well together. And it's Pagani been kind of on that back end midfield defensive position, that posturing to help rotations as needed.
Yeah, like we mentioned, this SU roster did just play last night in their NECC Varsity Premier matchup. And there was a lot that we liked from that game, namely SU looking extremely confident until they didn't. Early in those games, showing a lot of poise, a lot of incredible mechanics to hang with the incredible mechanics of Albright. And then, unfortunately, just when it started to break, it really crumbled. So we are getting word as well, I do want to mention, that it sounds like the third player for Georgia will be Mirrored. So again, not a huge difference there, especially rank-wise. These players are, I mean, within like 20 MMR of each other. But as we load into our first game here shortly, soon, hopefully, hoping to see more of that confidence from this SU squad and ideally be able to maintain it, maybe through a little bit of adversity. Keep those early chows coming as we talk to former player Easy. Shout out in the chat. Hopefully you feel better soon. But yeah, keeping the confidence up and not faltering when things start to go bad.
Yeah, that is one thing I wanted to point out, is that the Chows really did just kind of fall off of a cliff in that second half there against Albright. So that constant confidence that we want to see from the SU team has been lacking against teams that are even, if not a little bit better than themselves. So keeping that confidence up and knowing like, hey, this is a 3-on-3. We're playing soccer here with cars. Let's get after it. Let's not kind of fall off and be like, oh, let's play reactive and try to find clears where maybe we shouldn't necessarily be able to have them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one goes, but I'm expecting a very, very close matchup here to start week 1.
Yeah, plenty to look forward to here tonight, as like we said, both teams now checked in and in a lobby, so we should be getting underway pretty soon here as we are sitting in the spectator. But a lot on the line here between a
1-0 and 0-1 start, right? This is a massive moment for both of these teams. A lot of Rocket League left in the season, obviously. Nothing to panic about, no matter the result of tonight. But certainly like to start the season in the win column.
Yeah, I mean, starting off with a win is, of course, exactly where you want to be at a week 1 time frame, right? Starting off with a win always sets the pace for a good season, right? We see that in traditional sports all the time, specifically with football. I mean, you keep that ball rolling. Danny Dimes throwing their 3-0 now. We did not expect that to happen, as Mirad is there with the save. Mango putting the pressure on early yet again, but won't be able to find the flip is Kiazi. Now a little bump there from Pagani trying to get in on the action, but unable to find anything off of it.
Yeah, good little team play there from Mango and Kiazi to clear that one out. That was a dangerous ball from the moment it got pinched, but 30 seconds in, no scores yet. Shenandoah takes a breath. Bit of a miss there. 2 misses. Nuffins gets an open shot, but can't find the power on it. So another dangerous ball crosses the net. Mango with a little touch to clear that danger out. But 1 minute into this, both teams now with a good offensive push, but neither resulting in money.
Yeah, one thing I want to point that was just a miscommunication on what they wanted to have happen there on defense. But one thing I wanted to point out was the boost situation right now early on is heavily favoring Georgia Black. Shenandoah much struggling with getting any sort of speed built up, any boost pads collected. I mean, Pagani was sitting there with 0 boost for almost 10 seconds, it felt like, on that defensive play, and that allowed Georgia Black to get the first score on the board.
Yeah, Mango with a nice little touch there to try and give his teammate a shot, but can't quite follow up, so Pagani finds his patented clear sitting back in case things go wrong. Kiazi now with the opportunity to do the same as Demos flying in for this mean machine in red and black as they get a shot there and potentially one more, but Mango able to stuff that one out.
Yeah, Mango with that save does toss it up to Kiazi, flipping out mid, but does find the demo is Nuffins. Kiazi going down halts any offensive pressure that Shenandoah had there off of that clear plane. Defensively, yet again, is the Hornets still down 1, but plenty of time to go, right? Approaching that 3-minute marker here on game number 1. But again, Mango struggling on that boost, unable to continue that aerial.
Yeah, the mechanics are looking just a little off for SU, and I know this team is not one to make excuses, but you got to wonder how much that lack of a warm-up script might be affecting them. Something to keep an eye on the longer we go on tonight, but this is just game 1, and like we said, this is a best of 7. This is a long series to start the season, so as we approach the halfway point, still a 1-goal lead for the Bulldogs. Hornets looking to respond with a nice pass mid. Kiazi with a gorgeous shot right behind the defender, and we got a tie game right before halftime.
I thought Mango was going to try to do a little bit more, but ran out of boost. Just finds that pass, and props to Kiazi going to the right-hand side as well. That save, the posture that Georgia had on defense, was fully set up for that left side post, and instead going right with that redirection, able to sneak that one past the defense and tie this one up with half of the time to go here in game number 1.
Yeah, plenty of Rocket League left as SU gets on the board and starts to build some momentum of their own. But Georgia with a nice little offensive setup here, but quickly stuffed out by the SU defense as now the ball bounces pretty unresultant in the corner. Nothing happening is what I'm trying to say, as finally we get out of the corner and we get some action as Mango tries to put one on net but just misses.
Yeah, mirrored there with a cross, but Georgia Black still on that defensive rotation there after those saves had to come through. A backflip coming through from Pagani. Not sure if that's necessarily what they wanted to see from that player, but nonetheless still sets up a cross. Kiazi with a shot again. This time goes far post. 2-1 now for the Hornets.
Yeah, couldn't tell from where we were watching if that was intentional. It looked like Mango got bumped there, but it did set up a perfect shot for Kiazi.
It was a fake.
Yeah, we'll call it a fake.
Yeah,
I'm going to sit here and act confident. But no matter, SU up 1 now with a little under 2 minutes left, and we load back in SU with the kickoff in their possession once again, but not for long. KT might get a shot here as he follows his own touch up top. Kiazi gets a touch. It's off the top, and Mango comes in to save the day.
I mean, that was a pretty stressful defense there. Kind of stuffed off of that crossbar. Mango with the pinch past Kiazi, trying to follow up, but a little bit too strong coming through there from Mango. Finds its way sailing over the goal. Mango still peppering it on these midfield clears, as finally Koopa Troopa able to find the angle they were looking for to get back on this offensive side. But just as I say it, another clear comes through from the Hornets. Now 1 minute left to go here. Georgia Black still down 1.
Yeah, starting to run out of time here. A minute left to work with is a lot of time in Rocket League time, but still a lot of pressure in this moment as they now approach 45 seconds and are losing control of the ball. This is an opportunity, a long shot, but Mango all over that one. You know he's going to have the mechanics to make plays when he needs to, and that is no exception as he passes one up to Kiazi, but well defended by the UGA defense.
Now Mirrored trying to find a clear, but crosses it almost perfectly there to the Hornets, but unable to capitalize and find that cushion. Kiazi now with the shot goes down low and sneaks it past the defenders. It was Mirrored there on defense, unable to get there in time, and SU have found their cushion.
Loving what I'm seeing from the player cams too on the left there. The moment the ball is in the net, Mango is coaching. He's telling them what he's seeing, and we're seeing smiles across the board. So vibes are high for this SU squad as they start to get loose and get the ball rolling, no pun intended.
Yeah, and apologies, that was Nuffins there on that defensive play or attempt coming through from Georgia Black, unable to get there in time. But now with 5 seconds remaining here, Mirrored has to try to find a solo play, but unable to catch up to the ball. Now with 1 second left, as soon as this guy hits the ground, it'll be game 1 done and dusted in favor of the Hornets.
Yeah, not too shabby from either side. We saw flashes of greatness from this UGA squad early on as Mirrored was able to put a goal in of their own and start this thing off with a UGA lead, but quickly responded and dealt with 3 unanswered goals for the Hornets. Means that UGA does have some problems to solve.
And Kiazi was shooting, man. That's a hat trick there in game number 1. All 3 goals coming through from Kiazi there. You see him on your screen, locked in as usual, but oftentimes also the goofball of the team. So I'm surprised there's no big screams coming through on that camera. But then again, that was game 1. This is a best of 7. There's still plenty of opportunity for Georgia Black to crawl their way back into this one.
Yeah, this is a long series, man. I mean, this is this is very different from what at least I know SU squad is used to until playoff time. I mean, it's been best of 5s historically. So while, yes, it's a bit of a cushion, I wonder if there's a little bit of pressure as well, if that sort of does spark a reaction of, yeah, this is intense gameplay. This is playoff ball here, but it's not. It's week 1. Both of these teams are 0-0, but that best of 7 really does bring an added element to the game.
Yeah, kickoff there in favor of Georgia Black here to start game number 2. Trying to find a cross. Pagani flipping that one over the defenders of Georgia Black. Mango keeping this one up in the corner, trying to find a pass cross. Nuffins helping him out there just a little bit, but unable to capitalize on it is Kiazi. Pagani now up in the air, but instead it's Mirrored able to get that touch and push that off into that left side wall.
Yeah, I love seeing Pagani go for that. That was going to be a tough shot no matter what, but I love seeing the confidence to go do it anyway as Kiazi puts one on net and might have a follow-up. Pagani able to stuff the counterattack there before it got too dangerous, as now a bit of a passing play to get the ball upfield. Georgia looking to set up their own offensive threat.
Yeah, Georgia trying to find an angle here offensively in this first minute, but unable to do so as they find themselves back on that defensive side. It's Nuffins with the far wall carry. Pagani the one there to meet it. Kiazi up in the air there for the Hornets. Goes low. Pagani with a great touch, but back on defense is Nuffins yet again to keep this one scoreless.
Yeah, great job from the UGA defense to be ready for that one. That was a nice, surprising shot from SU, but Georgia all over it as now finally they do get a clear toward an SU corner, force them to play in their side of the pitch a little bit, but Mango with a nice fake sends one defender flying, and it still has the ball, goes under a second, but the third finally gets it out of his hands.
I mean, that was very close to being an absolute absolutely dirty goal coming through from Mango, but Georgia Black able to stay strong on that defensive side, and already Mango's back on defense, going for yet another one, but instead it's Koopa Trooper there, KT, able to find that one. Nothing's in the air, the pass down to Mirrored, but Kiazi is the one back on defense for the Hornets, trying to transition that into some offense of their own. Pagani, the cross is there, but unable to find it as Nuffins is there for the save.
Yeah, good patience here from Kiazi to sit back too as Mango goes up and takes it himself anyway. But as we approach the halfway mark, still no scores in this one, so a bit of a different tale from game one. Although SU looking to threaten here, but oh man, UGA all over it. The crossbar doing better defense so far than anybody in this game, but halfway point approaches and still scoreless in game two.
Scoreless in game two, indeed. Mango going up for the double tap. The fake is there, and Kiazi is the one to find the angle. A beautiful fake coming through from Mango. SU first on the board.
How about this? I don't... You know, I guarantee Mango did not want to fake that.
I agree.
But
actually,
he ran out of boost. We have seen enough of this Hornet squad to know that Mango would have absolutely put that in himself if he had about 20 more boosts. But nonetheless, maybe it is the surprises that work better. And this time around, I mean, Kiazi has been the scoring threat for UGA. It's a nice little setup there from UGA Black. A perfect little touch to kill the ball right down the middle. Koopa Troopa setting it up easy for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful stop of pace there coming through from Koopa Trooper, able to just hold that ball, hold that one in position for Nuffins to catch up, who was the one that originally found that clear in favor of Georgia Black. Now Kiazi's the one up in the air, has the angle, but it bounces so high off the crossbar. Double tap attempt coming through from Mango, but unable to find it themselves as well. Now it's Pagani's turn. Far corner just goes wide. We stay tied at 1.
Yeah, I'm loving the confidence from this SU squad. We said we'd need to see it, and here we are seeing the two traditionally non-playmakers, or at least when you watch this SU squad, you know that Mango's going to be trying to put clips on whoever they're playing. But Kiazi and Pagani not afraid to take the ball up themselves and give themselves a shot to score, to give the ball an opportunity to go in. So I'm loving that confidence because we knew we needed to see it after yesterday.
Yeah, Kiazi's the only one with a goal here for the Hornets in this series thus far. Another shot going just wide there from Georgia. We'll see if they can find their second lead of the series here, but right now they need to find a clear. Mango up in the air, KT able to get there. Kiazi winning that 50-50, but that ball does go wide to that far wall. Pagani off the backboard, Kiazi with the follow-up, but it's mirrored there instead to find the clear. 50 seconds to go here, still tied.
Yeah, clock's ticking again, but UGA in a better spot than they were last game. Still tied here with an opportunity to take the lead, but Pagani trying to set up Kiazi, but fortunately sends it a little too far over the net. So 30 seconds left, and UGA keeps it low. Pagani all over it, and once again going to take it up himself. Uncontested, nobody up until last second, but not much follow-up from SU, so Mango launches it into the wall. It's dangerous redirect there, but not on target as UGA tries to stuff this one in the closing seconds of the game.
Shot on goal goes just off the car there. Mirrored able to find an angle. It looked like SU was in position, but just unable to find the touch they want. I believe it goes right off of Pagani. Yes, it's a backflip, unable to find the angle. Georgia Black now find themselves with the lead with 11 to go.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate break there on defense. Car was positioned where it needed to be, just not how it needed to be, and unfortunately taps it right into his own net. But great shot from UGA, though. A lot of power on it, and they're able to walk away with a win in game two and tie the series. We got a 0-0 best of 5 on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, we're tied 1-1 now. It's just like a best of 5. Exactly. Right back to the tried and true BO5 here for this series. But Georgia Black doing a great job at responding to that game 1 loss. The defense looked a lot stronger there towards the end, and were able to wake up a little bit on the offensive side as well, finding angles, taking shots, and taking risks there on the challenges in the air.
Yeah, so what did we see different from game 1 from SU's side? Namely, less passing plays. It was a lot of touches into the corner and bounces that sort of set up shots, but that's where the UGA defense was able to step up almost every time, whereas game 1, the fakes, the passes were what was really putting the pressure on the Bulldogs defense. So going into game 3 here, I'm expecting to see a little bit more coordination, a little bit more pressure, a little bit more aggression from the SU scoring threats, and we'll see if it results in more than one goal this time around.
I have to see if they can get Mango going here on this offensive side. We've seen him a lot on that defensive side of the ball thus far in these first 2 games, setting up Kiazi with a lot of great angles as we go into the game 3 kickoff right off the bat. Pagani with an angle. The follow-up from Mango just goes high. Kiazi finds yet another cross, but Pagani is already back on that defensive rotation, as they should be. The shot on goal, but Mango just barely able to push that one and pinch it in that crossbar, preventing the goal there within the first 20 seconds of the game.
Yeah, Mango had a real shot to put that first one in on the offensive side, so had to make up for it on the other end of the field with a great last-second 1 pixel away save, and we remain scoreless. So ball bouncing around. Ball bouncing around in our corner as we appear to have lost connection. So hi, everybody. We'll welcome you back to the booth. Hopefully, well, I'll be curious to see if the players are still in game or not, or if that was just our spectator that might have lost connection there. But technical difficulties, bear with us as we figure this out.
Yeah, it looks like they might still be playing their matchup, so it'll be interesting to see what we jump back into if we can get back into this game. It looks like we are trying to load back up into things. I can see from our side that it's still nothing, so nothing missed here, but we have yet to toss this one back up onto the stream here for you guys. Not sure if there is still some technical difficulties going on, but thus far, I can try to paint the picture. Shots getting taken left and right from Georgia Black thus far. The defense holding strong. Mir just got a demo. Kiazi now taking this one down the field up in the air. It's Koopa Troopa, the one there on the save and the redirect into that corner as we are back into game here 2 minutes in.
Yeah, happy to take you back here into is this Champs Field? I don't know Rocket League stages very well. But
I think it is.
Back to the pitch, no matter where we are, as like Ben said, we still remain scoreless. While we were away, a couple pretty serious shots coming from the UGA squad, but none of them finding their mark. A couple misses as well as a couple saves from the SU defense has been the story of our time away. As nice little passing play upfield with a gorgeous shot on net. Just the crossbar once again playing the most consistent defense of anyone here.
The consistent defense indeed from the crossbar is exactly what you want to see for, well, the defending team in that sense, as now it's Pagani back up in the air fighting out of this corner. Mirrored the one to meet them there, winning the 50. The cross coming through. Mango taking it slow, and oh my God, Mango, take it easy.
Yeah, that one is ugly. That does not feel good. And we get to watch this replay as well. A nice little soft touch sends the defender flying to his knees, and Shenandoah strikes first in game 3.
I can confidently say that was a fake. That was 100%
yes,
a fake.
That one was intentional.
We're not making it up this time. That was by far an intentional fake there from Mango, and exactly what you want to see from your captain. Now on the defensive side, we see Pagani knocking that one out of harm's way, bouncing off of that crossbar. Kiazi now with a clear. Pagani with a touch, but is not able to find the angle that they were looking for. Now up in the air goes Pagani yet again. Mirrored the one carrying that on the clear, running out of boost, as well is a Mango. Kiazi there in the corner fighting out defensively, finds a demo as well. Can they capitalize on it on this offensive side?
Yeah, SU starting to run out of boost there for a while. They grab both of their back corners and let the time tick and the ball bounce to UGA as they rebound a little bit here. 90 seconds left in this game. This time around, no UGA score to hold on to. So as they look to find one of their own, SU looking to extend their lead with a touch like that, but no shooter just yet. Pagani pops one up to himself, but opts not to follow it in the air at least, so it will fall gracefully down to Kiazi at midfield. No massive scoring threat just yet. Pagani taps one into the corner, but it'll take an ugly bounce, not how he wanted it, and well defended by Georgia, so they try to set up a play downfield, but just like that, quickly interrupted.
Yeah, UGA trying to get something going on this offensive side, but SU is able to find the clears beautifully. Now with 45 seconds left, control in for Nuffin's flip reset is there, dropping it down. It's a fake instead, and it drops right into the goal. Georgia tie it up at 1 with 41 to go.
Yeah, Georgia does the exact same shot that SU, exact same strat that SU just pulled on them. A nice little fake sends the SU defender flying, and we got a tie game.
Tie game, 40 to go here. The kickoff heavily in favor of the Hornets. Kiazi finding across Pagani with the follow-up, but it's KT there on the defensive end. Now it's Kiazi again coming through with a shot on goal. This time it's Nuffins on the defensive play. The save there for UGA, an open net, and they are able to just drive it right into the goal. Mango looking frustrated there on that player cam.
Yeah, this was clearly meant to be a back pass, but Pagani had no boost. It couldn't get to the ball as it was being chased down so closely by the Georgia offense. So, just like that, a blink of an eye, and in 20 seconds, UGA has taken the lead.
Yeah, 17 seconds to go here. KT with possession. Goes for a flip reset, is not able to find it. Now Mango trying to find an angle. Kiazi is the one with the boost, taking it low. The 50-50 goes in favor of SU. 2 seconds left. The ball still up in the air. Shot on goal. Nuffins with a clear to the corner, and the ball will touch the ground. Georgia with a last-minute play there, able to take the lead and take the lead in the series 2-1.
All right, well, you got to be able to shake that one off if you are Shenandoah. That was 4 minutes of pretty solid Rocket League, very strong defense, and good possession all around until the last 40 seconds there. Things break open, and that second goal, just a miscommunication, sort of handing them a goal, and ultimately the game winner. So, self-inflicted wounds leading to another UGA win, but SU certainly has plenty to hold on to and take into their future games.
And you got to think the earlier parts of the series and these games, they've had great looks off of kickoffs, but they haven't been able to capitalize and get those shots off target. Some of them just barely going high there off of the crossbar. Mango had one, I believe, earlier in this game as well at the very beginning. So it's just some of those off-angle shots, if those are a little bit more centered and concentrated, they would have been goals. So some mental errors coming through from the Hornets, but nothing that you can't fix between games.
Yeah, going to take a bit of a reset here between games, reset the mental. You could see a bit of frustration, and rightfully so, after how that game ended and how the game was going for most of it. But we load into Game 4, and we have a fresh 0-0 score. So none of it matters, and we get a clean game here. 5 minutes of Rocket League starting with a 1 kickoff for UGA, but a quick counterattack here from SU. A wild ball goes toward the SU net, though, as we now settle into our rotations. Pagani going to take one upfield, but opt to not stay in the air and gets promptly demoed for it. So Kiazi with no boost looks to get one touch, and Mango right behind him threatening a shot if Kiazi can get a good 50 here, but not quite able to do so.
Nuffin's the one able to take that one out of harm's way. Has the flip reset. KT the one to try to continue that carry on that aerial threat, but unable to find anything off of it here, as now we see Pagani up in the air again. Stops the momentum of the ball, trying to play it slow on this cross. It was Mango up in the air. Kiazi with a shot on goal. Nuffins there yet again for the save. Now it's Nuffins on the aerial carry as well, but whoa, good flip back there from KT, able to find demos back to back here. I mean, left and right demos coming through. Mango now with a look, but unable to catch up with no boost.
Yeah, a couple good looks there from SU, but all stuffed out by good bumps as Kiazi, once again, the scorer of the day, finds his 5th on the night.
Yeah, 5 goals there from Kiazi, and I want to say this is just a mispositioning there from Koopa Troopa again, playing that right-hand post this time and unable to turn around as Kiazi shoots that one into the bottom left. SU first on the board here within the first minute and a half.
Yeah, just great shot placement from Kiazi there to put it right behind KT, and KT caught perpendicular to the goal, just sort of flat-footed. So capitalizing on moments like that is going to be the ticket for SU if they're to come back in this. But like we said, plenty of Rocket League left. This is still a best of 7, like we've mentioned. So neither team one game away from winning this thing. We've got plenty of Rocket League in this game and plenty of Rocket League in this series, but an important goal there to get things going for SU.
Yeah, Meard now trying to fight out of the corner. Will finally be able to find it clear, but it goes right to Pagani, unable to win the aerial 50-50. However, it means that KT has an option to find a cross, but instead passes it off the corner to Meard, who tries to go for the pinch down low, but unable to find the angle that they were looking for. As now we see Mango back on the defensive side, Pagani with a clear, but still Georgia Black in sole possession of this ball right now.
Yeah, not many opportunities to really control the ball from SU as they bang it into the corner and it gets snuffed out by great defense there from Nuffins as he sets his own team up to launch it down at the net, but a good dying effort there from Pagani to at least stall some time for his team and be the next one to touch the ball as well off the respawn. So Mango able to launch one downfield up to his teammate at midfield, driving up the wall to try to finish this off, but no shooter at midfield means Nuffin's going to set up a play for himself. Can't quite get the 50 there. Ball bounces dangerously toward the SU net, but not dangerous for long. Pagani all over it. Does miss the boost, so he's going to be late on a rotation here if Georgia is able to set up a shot, which they can, but nice defense there. And Mango looking to take it out at another dangerous ball. SU's really biting their nails right now.
Yeah, Kiazi, though, with that 50-50 win, but Meard is fast enough to intercept that ball, so nothing too drastic happens on that SU possession. Nuffin's trying to go for that cross mid. We'll drop it down to KT. The flip up to Meard, not there on that connection there from Koopa Troopa. Now it's Kiazi's turn to try to make something happen there on the offensive side. Pagani losing out on the 50-50, but good that he got there in time because it shoves that ball into the corner. Now it's Kiazi, corner, cross coming through. Mango with the shot, but Meard there with the save.
Yeah, ball gets killed on the wall there as this one will not go in just yet. Mango still catches it and opts to take it out, but no boost means he can't really contest if they opt to chase it. 1 minute left in this game. This is where things get scary for SU, as I'm sure they remember just 5 minutes of Rocket League ago when they had a very similar game state and a ball right off the crossbar. It looked like he might have been able to find the double, but a bit of a fastball can't quite react, and just a tough break for the Bulldogs means they don't find one just yet, and now SU has 30 seconds to hold on to this lead.
Yeah, 25 seconds in a dream here right now to try to move up to match point is Georgia Black, but unable to find a goal here in Game 4 thus far. Kiazi there with that save. 10 seconds left. The cross coming through. Nuffins is there with the shot, but Kiazi again back on defense. Pagani does get demoed there. Nuffins with an angle toss up to KT. Finds a cross over the center, but again, it's Pagani with the clear. Mango up in the air. No boost to work with whatsoever. The ball still up in the air. Nuffins pass over to KT. The shot on target, and they find it. Georgia Black tie it up in Game 4.
Yeah, this felt weird. There was some serious commitment from SU to chase after the ball with zeros on the clock, and Georgia still able to keep it in the air. But as long as that ball is off the ground, they still had a shot, and they take advantage. What a moment for this UGA squad as they force overtime here in Game 4.
Kiazi trying to find that cross. KT not ready for the speed of that ball, but luckily Pagani was unable to get there in time. Now Kiazi again intercepting that pass. The clear on target. Meard is there to bury it, and that's the first overtime, and Georgia flipping Game 4 on its head within the last 30 seconds of a game yet again.
Man, Man, oh man, who's that coming down the track? This team is looking hot. 3 straight wins, and the last 2 of them in clutch time. You said it, 30 seconds is enough to separate these two teams in many of these games so far, and SU just struggling to find the offensive threats that they were able to find in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the face cams, the players here kind of beating themselves up there, how that game 4 ended. I mean, it looked like they had it all done and dusted, but like you said, the ball chasing that went on with no boost to come back on a rotation for the defensive side means that Nuffins and KT just have an angle of approach that SU was not prepared for. They didn't think they had enough time to find that catch on the ground, but Nuffins was able to find it, found KT, and found that game-tying goal there to send us to that first overtime. But now if you're SU, backs against the wall. You need to win 3 in a row here to start NECC with a 1-0 start.
Well, how do they opt to start this? What will need to be a 3-game win streak? Well, they take a timeout. They are taking their 5-minute breather to talk some things over and start to settle the nerves down. These have been mostly self-inflicted, unforced errors from SU. A bit of nerves maybe starting the season, maybe a bit of rust from not warming up. Whatever it is, they're going to have to overcome it now. They are now out of that cushion of a best-of-7 series, and UGA Black threatening 1-game win and taking the series away.
I mean, Georgia Black just playing unbelievable defense there in these last 3 games, but also very, very clutch offensive plays from individual players. Everyone on the side of Georgia Black now with a goal in this series. Pagani, the only one in the game without one thus far. Kiazi, the man of the night here thus far offensively for the Hornets. Usually a quiet defensive player, but now coming onto the scene with some offensive skill here is Kiazi with 5 goals. Mango only having the 1, but frankly could have more if some of those shots were a little bit better placed.
Yeah, this has been a different look for the SU squad. Again, starting with confidence and sort of tapering off as the series goes on. We saw it in game 1, and I called it out when we were seeing it. There was a lot of confidence from the SU squad all around. All 3 players playing like they had nothing to lose, playing sort of outside of their traditional roles that we've gotten so accustomed to in this team. Mango usually the scoring threat, the one to take the ball the distance and put it in your net, and Kiazi usually the one to clean it up if he can't quite get it, and Pagani the one whose task is to just never overcommit and sit back if things go wrong. So far, that has not been the story of tonight. Kiazi the one finding most of these holes. Granted, a good chunk of them coming off, like I said, Mango's shots on net being cleared, but that is just as well a good form of offense. Shoot on net, make them make a play, and you're in position to capitalize. So far, Kiazi has done a great job of that, but the rest of the team just struggling to find their feet in this series.
Yeah, and this scoreline of the series is 3-1 Georgia Black, but it very well could easily be a 3-1 SU, right? Both back-to-back games there, game 4 and 5, just kind of flipped, or excuse me, 3 and, hang on, let's do math. 1, 2, 3, 4, we're about to go into 5. 3 and 4, right? Yeah.
Yes,
I
games
think so.
3 and 4.
There it is. Holy moly. Yeah, it's late at night. What time is it?
It is very late
it's
at night.
10:10. All right. Anyways, so those last 2 games, SU just kind of choked it away within the last 40 seconds of the series, of the game, rather. So this could very well be a different story, but right now SU needs to lock down on that defensive side in that final minute to be able to preserve these very close leads that they have.
Yeah, and I do think it's going to take more than 1 goal to walk out with a win in these games. SU has not had, I believe, more than 1 goal since game 1. So Lots gonna have to give here if you are SU. Something's got to change, but after a 5-minute timeout and a deep breath from the squad. I did get to look at the player cams and I saw some smiles from the guys, so it looks like a bit of a mental reset. We'll see if it's enough to win 3 straight games, as the room for error is now gone.
Yeah, no room for error at all. Now it's Mirrored here with the ground dribble. A little too fast goes the ball. Pagani back on defense, trying to cherry pick there. It seemed like now it's a Mango off the backboard. Oh. Kiazi with an angle, but just a little bit too fast to the ball as it meets with the crossbar. Mango now fighting out of the corner, has the boost, but will not commit, as Pagani is the one to try to take that chow and try to find a cross to one of his teammates.
Yeah, I love this start from SU, though. Wow, that was a tough break. Kiazi trying to beat the defender and ends up sort of beating himself to the crossbar. That was absolutely an opportunity to score, and when we really haven't seen many from SU, let alone any to capitalize. So Nuffins tries to get a touch there to disrupt the play. Mango will try to send it out from the corner, but UGA maintains control, does not panic in the face of strong offense. So Nuffins comes from the ceiling and tries to set up a play for his teammates, but no shooter at midfield. Means we won't see anything just yet. Well over a minute into this game, still scoreless. Has been the story of this series outside of game 1, but you and I know well that just about anything can blow this game open.
Yeah, Pagani the one in the air there for SU, trying to find that push into midfield, but now it's a pinch cross there over to Mirrored. We'll just drop that one half field. Now has to get back in time. Instead, it's KT with the adjustment. The spike off of the roof coming through from Pagani won't be able to find any traction, as Nuffins responds with a shot of their own on goal, but won't be able to find anything, as Mango was the one there with the save, and now up there with a save yet again, and a readjustment and possibly some tempo here on the offensive side. Comes down off of the corner, finds a little bit of a bouncing cross, but Kiazi unable to catch up to the ball in time.
Yeah, that was a race to the mid boost there between Mango, and I didn't see the UGA defender, but Mango ultimately lost, and so that killed all momentum, but Pagani finds his first on the day right at about the halfway point. Just a nice 50 there and a whiff from the UGA defense. I missed that in the moment, and UGA certainly missed the ball as well. So we find a lead for SU, and gonna have to hold on to it for 2 minutes and 30 seconds this time.
Yeah, Mirrored there with an unfortunate whiff. I was like, I thought I saw a car go eerily close to that ball, and well, yes, they did, but unable to find the touch. Now back on the offensive side was Georgia Black, but Pagani with a little bit of a dribble. KT finding that one, but again, the shot on goal coming through from Kiazi from midfield. That's 6 now for the junior here on the Hornets, and a 2-0 lead now for the men in blue.
Yeah, Kiazi once again cementing himself in that number 2 spot. Nice little setup there from Pagani, and Kiazi's right where he needs to be. Has looked very comfortable in this series as a whole, and this game's no exception. 2-goal lead, 2 minutes left to play, but like I said earlier, you and I know that it doesn't take much for this UGA squad to blow this thing open quick. So as KT takes it into the corner and looks for one more, he does find his one more, but no boost from the rest of the UGA team means that they won't get a good shot off.
Mango flip reset is there, but unable to find the angle. Now it's Mirrored here with a shot on goal, and just barely gets over the car of Kiazi. Mirrored gets Georgia on the board here in Game 5 with 1:43 to go.
Yeah, a lot of velocity on that ball. It really surprised me from where he was on the wall to be able to generate that much power on that shot. But props to him. Great situational awareness, a great pass from his teammate to get it upfield and give him that opportunity. And now SU starting to panic a little bit on defense, but does get out of that situation. And now Pagani takes the ball upfield himself.
Yeah, Georgia Black with yet another great approach coming through. Mirrored will not miss on that touch, finding the clear into the far corner. Mango flip up, does not get it past KT, however, who was back on that defensive rotation. But yeah, now in a 1-score game with 1:10 to go here, this frankly is anyone's game right now, the way the last 2 games have been going for SU. They have to be able to get out of these defensive ruts, and a demo might be the way to do it. Nuffins still finding clears an angle shot on goal. Kiazi, excuse me, unable to get there. KT with the angle yet again, and just like that, we're all tied up.
Yeah, ball bounces off the wall a little harder than Mango was expecting. He tries to get after it, but can't do it, and Kiazi finds himself lost in the net. So we have a tie game. What did we say? Can't get too comfortable in any situation, but a nice shot there. Nuffin's able to get back in time, but a good bump means the ball goes off the crossbar. A tough break for SU, and another shot from the wall goes just wide. One more setup, but no shooter home, and Kiazi forced to defend with little to no boost. Can touch it into the corner and find one more to at least disrupt the counterattack, but SU with a couple opportunities there and coming up empty-handed.
20 seconds remain here in game number 5. SU fighting to stay alive in this series, tied up at 2. KT in the air drops it down to Nuffins, but Kiazi is there with the save. Mango, a full boost bar, takes it low, wins the 50-50 into the corner. Up high they go, but KT is the one to respond. Mango still peppering with the angles. Kiazi goes down low, but it bounces off of the crossbar. KT now trying to find an angle on the other side. Pagani meeting it up in the air. A miscommunication there from Kiazi and Mango as well, and now it's Nuffins in the air. Will just try to find the ground, and will. Game 5 overtime. Here we go.
Yeah, count your losses there if you're SU. The boost situation was looking real bad towards the end of that 0 ball, but we load into overtime. SU survives a bit of a scare. UGA survives a bit of a scare. And we load into an even game here. Golden goal, one to win it. A good touch there, but Mango not fooled by it. Nuffins looks to get one more touch in the corner, set up another shot, but Mirrored looking for a bump. Does find it, but not enough impact. Means SU will set up for a counterattack here. Kiazi takes it all the way up himself, but can't quite find his 50. Pagani gonna look to do the same. Can't find his either, so why not throw a third at it? Kiazi right to the front of the line once again. Mango with a back pass there. Pagani's gonna pop it up to himself, but opt not to chase it. KT goes high, but can't quite find it. Still out of the play, but Nuffins finally slows this thing down.
We approach the first minute of overtime here in this game number 5. Close calls on both sides early on. Kiazi opting to take it slow, goes into the corner, finds a beautiful touch. Is the follow-up there? No, it is not. The players of UGA are there. Kiazi back on that defensive side. Mango up in the air, finds the spike down. Kiazi is there, goes up off of the backboard. Pagani is there with the follow-up, but unable to find anything yet again. Now it's Kiazi, a second effort, but Nuffins is there to snuff out the play. Mango up in the air, far corner, finds it! SU stay alive with a Game 5 victory.
Yeah, we saw the team play starting to come together. They're looking for the passes. None of them quite landed, and Mango with a nice little extra touch to the far top corner, and SU gets to breathe. Still need 2 more, but an important first step in what's going to have to be a perfect 3 games.
That's one way to start off the 3-game reverse sweep and a best of 5 at least in this scenario, but a very, very close and nerve-wracking overtime there in Game 5. I mean, it looked like it could frankly go either way, but again, is Georgia Black in that final minute coming alive offensively and really making SU work for these wins?
Absolutely, and work for it they are. We get a look at the players. Spirits are high, smiles are coming out, everybody takes a sip of their water, and we lock back in. I saw Mango go into his coaching mode there toward the end, so we'll see if the players are still feeling loose, but that's, like we said, an important first step. A lot to be happy about there, but a win is a win, and getting ready to go into Game 6 here for this 7-game series.
I mean, this is an unbelievably close series, right? I mean, Georgia Black fighting with everything they got to take this lead in those final minutes, and SU now having to scrape any bit of life that they have here in this series to try to come back into this one as we go into kickoff. KT with a little bit of an angle there, but won't be able to capitalize with no boost on that one. Kiazi winning out on that 50-50 as well. Mango up in the air, gets there first, trying to find a clear, but instead it's mirrored with an angle going high, but we'll go for the fake. It's Kiazi there with that touch off into that corner. Across coming through, but Mango is back into the swing of things here. Pagani trying to get aggressive, trying to find that lower pinch, but unable to do so. So far, the first 30 seconds, very back and forth here. Ping pong action coming through from both sides.
Yeah, I have to appreciate the poise from Pagani and Kiazi after that Mango demo. He had grabbed the full corner boost and instantly lost it and left the other two SU defenders very low and alone in the net. But calm, composed, and ready to play Rocket League. They were not fazed by it and come out with a big save. 1 minute now into this game, still scoreless. That has been the story of this series. Just like I said last game, right? These games take a minute to break open, but once they do, boy, does it not stop.
Now Kiazi now trying to fight their way back out of this corner on the defensive side. Finds the flip up, but the 50-50 not going in their favor. Mirrored back on defense, able to find that touch, that save. Pagani opting to carry this one off into the corner, but I want to give props to SCU right now on the defensive side. They're back on their rotations and are capitalizing off of their clears right now, just like Georgia Black is playing lockdown defense here in this first minute and a half. It's mirrored there up to find that save in that far corner. The shot taken there by Kiazi. Now it's KT's turn to try to get some magic going, but Pagani will instead be able to push that one off into that corner and maintain possession for the Hornets.
Yeah, I'm really not seeing the effects of this possession on UGA's boost, I have to say. While, yes, it's important to maintain control of the ball for as long as possible and really start putting these shots on, none of it really matters if you're not taking the boost from them as well and really pinning them in their own goal. But for a couple of those shots, I look at the boost, and every time every UGA member was at about 80 and sitting in their net, it's going to be very hard to sneak one past them when they're able to set up that comfortably, as now they do get a look on the other side of the field. But a bit of an overcommit means SU might be able to capitalize, but some good last-second defense from the UGA squad buy some time, and they reset.
Yeah, Pagani going in the air there earlier on that 1v2 defensive scenario, able to find the clear. Kiazi with a lob up, mirrored is there. Mango unable to follow up on the touch coming through there from mirrored. Now we cross the halfway marker here in game number 6. We remain scoreless. Mango no boost to work with. Mirrored there to intercept the shot. Across coming through. KT is there again, but Kiazi again with a beautiful cross, a redirect into that corner. But now Georgia Black, what can you do back on this offensive side right now? A pass to Nuffins is not able to connect. KT has full boost to work with, but won't be able to find the angle as Kiazi is there to interrupt.
Yeah, some crucial backboard defense there from the SU squad, and find some very, very important touches that could have led to disaster. So UGA still buying some time for themselves, maintaining possession of the ball for an extended period of time for the first time in what feels like this whole series, right? It has been a lot of capitalized counterattacks, little windows of opportunities that UGA has made the most of, but this time around, a lot of offense from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Pagani trying to find that low slider there into that bottom right corner, but unable to do so. KT finds the demo. Mango with a crossover to Pagani, shot on goal, but Nuffins is there to find the save as we enter our final minute of gameplay. KT in the air, boost to work with, carrying it all the way by themselves, but Pagani is there to find the redirect. Now it's Mango's turn.
Yeah, this is an opportunity, but Nuffins is able to get a hand up. Wow, a great touch there to set up a potential shot, but nobody home for SU. The boost numbers looking a little low. One more touch off the backboard. Can Pagani put it in? Mirrored able to get a hand up that time around. 30 seconds left into this game. Still scoreless, but again, these games can blow open, but especially in UGA's favor. So SU still maintaining control. That one goes over Kiazi's head, but SU certainly looking like they're going to have to score soon here. And a nice bump in the goal sets up a little easy lob for Pagani. Look at the defense here from Kiazi.
I mean, Pagani, they're winning out on that 50-50 as well. Takes it themselves into that corner. The bump coming through there from Mango as well in that goal, setting up that open net scenario, but now a shot just wide coming through from Georgia Black. This is where it all crumbled in game number 4 here for SU. They had it done for rights, zeros on the clock, but weren't able to hold down the defense. Now with 1 second left, it's all or nothing. Kiazi goes for the spike, but Mir does not let it land. 50 boost pass off to KT, going for the double tap, but they will be able to find the spike. SU forces game 7.
A very, very important goal. A very, very important step up to the plate for the Hornets. I said they were going to have to score soon, and they score within 2 seconds of me saying that. It felt like that was going to be the last offensive opportunity we would see for the Hornets, at least in regulation. And what do? They find their way in. Great pressure from Kiazi, a great lob from Pagani, puts it on net, does exactly what he needs to do, and the Hornets get away with one, and we're going to Game 7.
Game 7, we're going the distance here, Chris. Georgia Black now opting to take the timeout of their own, so we'll have to see what Georgia Black can come out here with in this Game 7 after this timeout. But hey, smiles on the cams of SU players. That is exactly what you want to see. Some relief as well from Mango there in that top camera. But I mean, it's not done yet. You have one game to go, a best of one now to decide if you start NECC week 1. This is only week 1 with a 1-0 record here. This is for it all.
Yeah, I mean, this is about as good as it gets. There ain't nothing finer in the land than a Game 7 run here between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Shenandoah Hornets. What a way to kick off the season, man. I mean, reigning, defending Division 4 national champions taking on their first opponent in Division 4. And what do we get but one of the more exciting... This has been arguably a more exciting series than anything SU saw in Division 4.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an unbelievable series to be able to watch. SU taking that first game. Georgia answered back with 3 straight of their own. Now it's SU winning 2 in a row to force that Game 7 here, as it looks like we're getting close to possibly hopping in here. I'm not sure how. I believe the timeout is around 5 minutes, so they have some time to work with. But man, everyone on these teams have decided to show up here in week 1. And it's also very similar in the goal scoring, right? I mean, Mird has 5, Kiazi has 6, Pagani, Nuffins both with 2, KT and Mango both with 2 as well. Only a 1 goal difference here in this series, and right now that's making all the difference.
It absolutely is, and I'm so curious what we're going to see in this Game 7, because... Okay, you and I are League of Legends guys, right? We've watched our fair share of professional League of Legends. When those go to Game 5, that means everything is thrown out the window.
Pretty
right?
much.
Where
yeah.
we've seen in this series 6 games of consistency built up for these teams in their own right. That's not always the answer. Sometimes you gotta get a little lucky. And Mirrored there finds a nice little touch off the crossbar, and a good bounce down to the corner finds its way into the net.
Nuffins with a beautiful tap off of that post as well, setting up Mir with a beautiful angle. And that's just the first 9 seconds here of game number 7, as now it's the kickoff in favor of the Hornets. Can they follow up on that one? Pagani is trying to, doesn't win the 50-50, but Mango with a shot on goal, just barely goes wide off of that top corner. Now Kiazi with possession, dropping it down to Mango. Mir there, able to intercept the pass instead. Let's see how SU can respond here on this defensive side after already letting up that early goal. It's Mango in the air, KT with the push off into the corner.
Well, we said that we might need to see some surprises. How about a goal in the first 10, 20 seconds of Game 7 here? We haven't seen anything like this. I've been saying it all night as we approach the halfway point, still scoreless. Well, this time that's not true. 1 goal in favor of Georgia Black, and a massive goal at that to get some momentum rolling after 2 consecutive losses. 1 minute down in this game, and Nuffins tries to set his team up, but a good pass upfield there by Kiazi tries to set his own team up. And a bit of a double commit there from SU means they're going to have to get back quick, but as a boostless Kiazi tries to get a touch and unfortunately sets the enemy team up for a very powerful shot on the net.
Now, I was going to say this before we hopped into this game, but usually in League of Legends, those Game 5s tend to be blowouts, right? Georgia Black now with 2 quick goals here in game number 7. We'll have to see if SU can claw back in this one. I mean, still plenty of time to work with. Mango up in the air. No boost to work with anymore, but it doesn't even matter. Mango styling on him in the air brings them back within 1.
Yeah, Mango, the eraser of some of the errors we've seen so far in this game, takes one himself and cancels one of those goals out. We got a 1-score game on our hands now, as 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. We are 3 goals into this game, and still so much time left.
Nuffins has boost to work with, takes it up, mirrored with the follow-up, but won't be able to get it past Mango, who was there on the save. KT dropping it down yet again. Pagani with a little bit of a whiff there. Not exactly what you want to see. That would have been a great clear if it did connect, but now back up on offense comes KT, pushing that one back into the corner. 3:10 to go here in game number 7. Mango some boost to work with, pushing that one off into the corner, goes up high, but KT is able to win that one out in the corner. Kiazi tapping it up now for Pagani. Still having possession are the Hornets in that corner, but still unable to find a clear shot onto the goal.
Yeah, Mango steals the corner boost and does get a touch from Pagani, but well defended. Kiazi's going to get a shot here. Won't quite squeeze in, but that one just might! What is that? Kiazi comes in from the top rope and is able to find a touch here on the end. Did it go off the defender? No, it was!
He falls on top of it. He falls right on top of the ball there off of that goal line. And now we're approaching halfway through Game 7. We've seen 4 goals, 2-2, all tied up. This is exactly what you want to see in a Game 7. All belts, anything, weights, they are off. We are firing on all cylinders right now in week 1.
Every aspect of this series has been thrown out the window. 4 goals in half this game, and finally another dangerous ball bouncing in front of the Georgia net, finally cleared, and the Bulldogs get to breathe, but a boostless Mango goes upfield and follows this one. Does beat one, but can't quite find the shot on net that he needed. 2 minutes left in this game, and we're still tied.
Mango now with some boost to work with, has half a tank, goes up, flip reset is there, does not fake, takes it into the corner, but unable to get past the defense of Georgia Black. Now it's Nuffins in the air, pass over to KT. Let's see what they can do with it. Nothing. Pagani there off of the back wall, shot on target there, but Mirrored is there on that save instead for Georgia Black. Finding clear on target again is KT as we approach the final minute and a half of this Game 7 as we find ourselves in a little bit of a stalemate here. A little ping pong going back and forth in this mid-game.
I was just about to say, in a bit of a lull now as we go almost 2 minutes with no scores, and a bit of a return to form for both of these teams as we settle back in. Little weak shot on goal means that SU buys themselves some time to reset, especially after a demo there. Slow ball into their own corner, probably one of the best things that could have happened to them in that moment. Kiazi goes a little wide on that one, so UGA driving their way down the field. Mango takes one onto his own backboard, able to get over Nuffins there in the air. So Nuffins out of the play for a good minute here, but a nice touch there off his own corner boost means that Georgia does buy themselves enough time, and we're under a minute to play.
Mango now the one trying to navigate the defense of Georgia Black. Pagani with a clear on goal, but Nuffins is there with the save. Mango did get the demo there onto Mirrored as well, playing off the corner, tries to find that cross to Kiazi, but just can't quite find it. Now, defense has to be practically the name of the game if you're thinking for the Hornet side of things, because this is where it's gone wrong so many times.
Yeah, we're not in overtime yet, but you got to think next goal wins it, whether it's in regulation or not. SU with the ball, a good clear upfield there as Mango forced to take it back towards his own net, but sticks with it as KT was on his tail. A clear on target. Pagani able to make the last minute save of the series probably to keep the Hornets in this one. A deep breath from the Hornets as that one hits the ground before a shot on net.
They lean forward in their chairs. Mango winning the 50-50 on that kickoff. This could be a fast goal, but Kiazi is not there fast enough. Now it's mirrored with a clear Nuffins with the back pass instead, opting to try to slow down this game just a little bit. It's Pagani up in the air, the shot on goal, but Nuffins is there with the save. Kiazi has to get back in time, gets demoed, goes down now, off to the left-hand side. Mango with the clear on target. KT can get there in time yet again. 30 seconds into this overtime. Georgia Black on offense.
All right, both teams have used their mulligans. There have been some unfortunate breaks for both of these squads. A couple opportunities for this game to end, yet here we stand, still in Game 7 overtime. A ball bounces up to the ceiling. Pagani forced to send it right back up, but KT is waiting for it. A nice touch there from Mirrored means that one more shot on goal from Nuffins can't quite find its way home.
They were trying to find the bump onto Mango, but it was just a hair too late. Able to find that save are the Hornets. KT now back on the defensive side. Mango with a flip up towards Kiazi. Takes it himself and bang! SU climb back from 3-1 down. A minute 13-second overtime. Game 7 comes up, Stingers.
That was huge. The moment doesn't get any bigger than that. We see the pop-off from the players. 3 straight wins when they needed it most. Pagani, the calm head on the team. Mango coming into the prod room to pop off for this one. A much-needed win, a much-needed moment for this team.
What a week 1, Chris. That's the first game of NECC, right? I mean, can you ask for anything better than a Game 7 overtime? 3 overtimes in a row to close out our first week here at NECC Division 3. I mean, frankly, I could not ask for anything better myself.
I don't think I can either. I am speechless. That was absolutely amazing. And I'm seeing people in the chat. I missed it in the moment, but it looks like Pagani spawned right on the ball after he got demoed on that last break. I missed that in the moment, but something about that rotation did feel strange, and I know exactly what moment they're talking about, but I didn't put that together. What a moment for this team, the awareness to come off the spawn platform in a sense and make a play to save the series.
I mean, that cross was coming fast, and Pagani, I do remember this happening. I was like, well, where did Pagani come from? He just kind of bloop, just dropped right in front of the cross that KT was going for in that corner. And man, SU, what a way to start your season here in NECC. Obviously not the way you would have liked it to go. You don't want to have to fight back from a 3-1 deficit here in week 1, but man, Kiazi, Mango, Pagani on the defensive end as well. Clutch goals as well. That 1-0 victory in Game 6. Pagani had the only goal in that one as well. So what a series from both of these teams. It was electric.
Wow. Okay, so I did just watch the clip back. He genuinely does spawn right on the ball. I didn't put it together in the moment, but he does truly come out of nowhere to interrupt the play.
That's crazy.
that is a massive moment. Sometimes you just get a little lucky.
Yeah.
But how
How
does that happen?
I mean, and that watching that back, if Pagani does not spawn right there, that cross is on the
It's
money.
dangerous,
It is right there. So thank you, Rocket League, for putting a spawn in that direct location for Pagani in that instance. But yeah, that is just an unbelievable series to kick off the season.
Yeah, man, you earned it, Shenandoah. I mean, this was a hard-fought series. Again, coming off a national championship win, a pretty smooth ride, I might say, through their bracket last year into that trophy. They earned their right to swing up a division and find themselves in a Game 7 series against a tough opponent. We looked at the stats pregame, and while UGA's numbers were not as impressive as some of the other teams, we've seen Shenandoah play already this year, that is an impressive win for the team, especially with the resilience to stick with it.
And the timeout, I want to know what happened in that timeout, if it was a strategy talk or just like a, hey guys, let's just go out. Let's have fun. Let's see what we can do. We know what we're capable of. And in those 3 games, we saw passing plays start to open up. The rotations were there a lot cleaner and a lot faster defensively. And the boost management came out of left field, it seemed like. It seemed like Georgia Black was all over the big boost, all over the small pads. Rotations were there every single time. And then SU flipped a switch, and all of a sudden they were playing a lot faster.
Yeah, I don't know how you bounce back and take a breath and go to next week. Like this is, thankfully they have a week to sit and breathe and swallow this one. As I mean, I'm sure everybody's hearts were skipping beats at moments during this series, and especially that last game. But man, what an impressive series.
Yeah, I do think we're going to take a quick look at some of the replays of this series here, if we want to toss those guys up onto the screen for you guys to see all the craziness that was going on throughout the entire series. If you joined us late, Georgia Black had a 3-1 series lead, series point, and SU clawed their way all the way back to win 4-3 in a nail-biter of a Game 7 as we hop into some of these replays.
Yeah, we can take a look at all the way back. It feels like it was so long ago. Game 1, starting with a UGA score, but a quick and vicious response from the Hornets as they find their way back into the game with 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals, all from Kiazi in Game 1, mind you. A different strategy than we're used to seeing, but one that ended up paying off in the long run.
I mean, an incredible series. Kiazi, 7 goals on the series here as well. Unbelievable stuff. Not usually the player we see making a lot of the goals here for the squad. Mango usually the one taking that score striker seat there. But, I mean, this, frankly, was the series of Kiazi, right? He was all over the place. Defensive saves coming in left and right. The shots on target, relentless pressure coming through from him. And frankly, a great series from the entire squad.
Yeah, as we keep making our way through these replays, we will take you back to the booth here with our player of the series and a familiar face on this team, but maybe a different one in this stat column. Kiazi back here with us. What's going through your mind right now?
Oh man, that was a tough game. We clawed our way back for that victory, I have to say.
Absolutely. What were you guys seeing going into that timeout, right? After Georgia pulls up 3-1 in a best-of-7 series, you know what the road ahead looks like. What's said in that timeout? What went into that timeout? And how did you guys come out of that with 3 wins?
Well, we were already basically up on the series. We took the first game, and almost at the start of every game, we scored, and we were up on a goal. So it was just those little defensive errors that we had that made us got scored on in like the last few seconds of the game. So we just had to make sure to slow down, clean it up, just take a W home, baby. Come on.
Now, I want to ask, before the timeout, it looked dire, right? I mean, the mental had to be just out the window. I know mine would have been absolutely destroyed if we let up goals in the final couple of seconds there. But what was it like kind of fighting back after the timeout, but then also beforehand trying to stay kind of focused in it, knowing that, hey, we can still win this even though we're down 3-1?
Yeah, man, it's really hard. The adrenaline is pumping. Like, we lose one game, that's the series over. So we have to just be on the top of our game, no mistakes. Yeah, that's it's really hard to do, and especially in a best of 7. Usually we're just used to playing a best of 5, so it's even more games that we have to be locked in for. So man, it was rough, but came out with it on top. You know what I'm saying?
That's a marathon of a series right there to start your season. I want to bounce ahead to Game 7. Right, we start the final game, the series deciding game, and they come out and score 2 goals off the rip. Yes. What's going through your mind? What are the comms like? Are you guys staying level-headed, or were we starting to get a little frustrated?
Well, Griffin and Terry look-key brought me up because I look-key thought that those 2 goals were on me from my mistakes. So they were just like, shake it off. We're still in this. The game's not done yet. So we play like goldfish. We forget we keep moving. So we just forgot about those goals, played like it was 0-0, then we brought it back because it's our game.
Yeah, I want to ask specifically about the overtime as well, right? You bring it back to tie it up 2-2, and the overtime was not a short overtime. It went over a minute there in that Game 7 overtime. What was it like comm-wise, teamwork-wise, going into knowing like, hey, this is literally it. Whatever happens, it's kind of like a 50-50, right? There was moments in that overtime where it was kind of ping-ponging back and forth, kind of slow gameplay as well. What were you guys looking for in these moments to try to capitalize?
Well, the main thing for the last game was that we just didn't want to get scored on. We were giving up too many goals in the early games. So we were just mainly focusing on defense, just trying not to over-rotate, not to be caught out of position. And it just helped us out with our rotates, getting back and forth offense and defense. So we were able to look for those passes and score goals.
Yeah, I want to ask one more question before we sort of wrap this thing up. 7 goals on the day, more than the rest of your team combined, more than any player in that lobby in a 7-game series. Is that something we're going to see more of?
I hope so.
Yeah, what goes into that? What were you seeing out there? Was that intentional? Were there a lot of fakes setting you up, or were you just finding your angles?
I think I was just in the right spot at the right time, just being able to finish those shots. I got Griffin over here screaming at me, put it in a corner, and it works.
It worked.
It works. So,
Mango chirping from the from the broader. We can take a quick look at these stats. We've got our player of the series final numbers. It looks like up here 7 goals.
I can't forget about
day.
those saves though.
Yeah, 2 assists. Is that 10
saves, I believe?
You should see these on screen momentarily, I hope, with 19 shots on goal, but not a bad stat line at all.
Yep. I'm just happy we came out on top today.
Absolutely, yeah. So congratulations to you. I mean, that is an impressive win. I'll hit you with one more. What do you take away from that kind of a series into next week?
So it was our first game of NECC, so we wanted to just get back in the groove of things, and I think we finally found it. We had a rough start at the beginning of the series, which y'all could see, but we brought it back, found our footing, and I think we just need to bring that into next week.
Absolutely, a character win for sure, but that will do it for us here tonight. It is 10:46 local time
I'm about to go to sleep.
I'm about to go to sleep. This was a late series, but an exciting one that I'm sure wore all of us out. So thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to you, and I hope we can see more of that next week. But that'll do it for us. Be sure to drop us a follow on whatever platform you're watching on so that you don't miss out on any action like that going forward. But with that, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might just change their life, and we will see you next time.